Hey mamas, building your baby registry can feel very overwhelming, almost to the point of like a second job. So what we're going to do is go through our baby registry and I'm going to tell you what to get and what to skip. We are going to save money, avoid all the baby clutter, and get items that you need specifically for your home and for your lifestyle. All right, so just jumping right into this first item is the Fisher-Price portable chair. It's called the Sit Me Up floor chair. We actually did have one of these, but it was a hand-me-down. I borrowed it for my mom. No big deal. I recommend in general not getting a lot of seats. I don't think this was a need. I would not get it again for another child. Overall, pick like one seat. That's what I recommend. So that takes me into item number 2, which is this inflatable seat that looks kind of silly to me and very unnecessary, honestly. Up next, we have a floor mat. Now this I actually kind of like. So, normally you get like a play mat that has like, something that goes over them. I like this, just a nice fluffy little mat, put toys on it and let them play and explore. If you have carpet, you may not need this, but also it's kind of nice for the spit ups. But if you have hardwood, this is the kind of thing you might like. I like that it's larger than a lot of play activity centers. So this looks really cool and actually might be one of my favorite items on this baby registry. It's a nice neutral pattern as well. From there, we have this Tummy Time water mat. I don't think these are necessary. I really don't, but they're only like $10. So not the worst either. Okay, I could go either way. Moving on from there, we are going into the bath department. So we have the Frida Baby like control cup. We have an old plastic cup not old like nasty, but just like an old random cup we found in our house. It's a plastic cup in the bathtub and it was free. You don't need to pay the $7 for something that you truly don't need. So I say it's a skip. On bath towels, you don't have to have them at all. You can completely skip them and just use an adult towel on your baby. But if you want to get a hooded towel for your baby that's exclusively their towel, that's fine. Don't get a newborn towel. Don't get a baby towel. Get a toddler or even a kid towel. Look at the dimensions when you look up the item. Some baby towels are like 30 by 30 inches or 32 by 32. Go bigger, they will last longer, and they just cover them up better and warmer. So that is my preference on towels. On to diapering, they got a couple of changing pad covers. So that means they probably have the changing pad somewhere on here, or they already have it, but now they want covers for it. This stuff gets expensive. What we did, we had a crib in the bedroom and we had a guest bed. We put a quilt on the guest bed, like a small baby quilt, changed them on there. We had the little diaper caddy there, good to go. They didn't ruin the comforter or anything like that. So that's how we did it, and we loved doing it that way. We changed our baby on the guest bed. The next item is one I do not like, and it is the diaper genie. So first we have the Arm & Hammer fresheners. Okay, so we're spending $13 to make the diapers not stink. Then this next item, I believe, is the refill bags. So we're spending another $17 on bags to dispose of the dirty diapers. At some point, there should be a pail on here. And also, I'd like to notice they purchased 2 here and 2 here. They only requested 1. So I don't know if somebody made a mistake on that or what the deal is there. I don't see the diaper pail at this point, so maybe they got it on their own. Let's keep looking. We will see if we come across it, but I don't like a diaper pail because you're spending like $100 to dispose of diapers. Just put them in the trash. Bag them if you want to, but just put them in the trash. We don't need to spend more money and more waste disposing of diapers. We already spend way too much doing it. We have some wipes. If you're going to do like disposable diapers, get a ton of wipes, okay? Then we have the diaper caddy. I like this diaper caddy. Now, these are not fancy ones. They're kind of like felt and kind of floppy, but they do the job. They get it done. And some people would argue like this isn't needed. For me, it was a need in the sense of I like the diapers to be organized. I like the little things to be organized. And then later on, we are going to use this as like a hair basket. Okay, we're going to put the hairbrushes in it, the bows, and it can even move around with us if we want to do hair on the couch. Boom, I got all the hair supplies with me. So for me, this item will not just be used in the baby phase. I will continue to use it. I don't see it going anywhere in the future. Then we got Aquaphor, maybe a little 2 set. It says 3-in-1 diaper rash cream, but I'm assuming it's just the 2 bottles. It is up to you what you put on your baby, okay? I don't like to give advice or judge because I'm not a doctor and I'm not a dermatologist, okay? So do your own research and just be conscious of what you put on baby skin. Next, we have a pack of newborn diapers. That's a pretty small pack, which I think is a good idea depending on the size of your baby. I would recommend putting some size 1s on here though and some other sizes. Okay, get the diapers. That is an item you are going to use. Then we have some refills that I think go with the diaper pail, but I believe it's just more bags. I don't think it's the actual diaper pail. So we're getting even more refills. Way too much money spent on a diaper genie. Next, we're moving into feeding babies. So we got bottles. We got a nice Dr. Brown set of a lot of stuff there, a lot happening. But honestly, for everything that's in that picture, that seems like a really good price to me. So I will give it that. Then we got Similac. I don't see people putting this on their baby registry very often. Interesting that they want to go with this, but that again is up to them. I breastfed, so I really don't feel like I can speak too much on the formula department. Then they got another type of bottle. I would recommend getting only one type of bottle. That's just me personally. In the sense of washing bottle parts, you already have a ton of parts and pieces. Okay, just take Dr. Brown's. You, I think, have 5 parts with that bottle. You have the rubber nipple, you have the white part that surrounds the nipple, you have the bottle itself, and then I believe that green filter part, and then that clips into something like a round piece. And then if you have a cap, that makes 6. Then you have a whole other set of bottles. This bottle, I think, has like 1, 2, 3, 4 parts to it. It's a lot of parts and pieces. Okay, so I recommend trying to stick with only one type of bottle. Okay, see if baby can just learn from that bottle from the get-go, and that's all they've ever known, and they get used to it. I think that is an easy way to do it. Next, we have the silicone bibs. I love these. I love the price. I love the 3-pack. One for home, one for diaper bag, and then the other one could be grandma's house, could be daycare, could be 2 for at home. And then you can always rotate if the dishwasher is running. Then we have some more Dr. Brown bottles, so they wanted to get more. My recommendation on bottles that I do want to say regarding the ones above and this is I don't like getting small bottles like the 4 ounce. I'd rather see the 8 ounce, okay, that they're not going to outgrow. Personal opinion there, and I like to get the most bang out of my buck when it comes to what I'm spending money on, and they will outgrow the 4 ounce bottles. Next, we have a sort of different situation here. So it's a splat mat. There's a mat that goes under the high chair, and it looks like a smock that baby wears. Okay, so this might be when they're letting baby feed themselves and they're super, super messy. It could be for painting time as well. This could be more of a craft thing. Can go either way. I think they're a great idea in theory, but the user part of me, I don't love the smocky ones. I feel like maybe they don't like wash as well or dry as well or hold up as well typically. And on the splat mat, yes, it will protect your floor, but for me, it's also one more thing to clean. Does it go in the washer, for one thing? If it goes in the washer, like, okay. If it doesn't, what good is that? And then, you know, say they're eating bananas. They're going to drop some on that mat. They're still going to drop some on the floor. They will do it. So then you're cleaning 2 things versus maybe just cleaning the floor. Okay, up to you. Some people would completely disagree on me on that, and that's okay. You are entitled to your opinions. All right, I'm just sharing mine. Okay, next we have a couple like memory type items. I can't bash on these. Collect those memories because your baby will grow up so fast. Okay, just make sure you get these done. All right, and if you are having a really rough postpartum and you're not up for it, ask your husband to do this, or even like your mom or your sister. And I know it might hurt that they're getting to do it with your baby, but also you still have the memory, and that can make them feel special as well. So make sure you get these things done. Don't let them just sit in the box. All right, moving on to a little bit of like health and baby care. So they have a baby monitor. We're gonna see that below. You see that? I might be covering it up, but down in the bottom here, they got a baby monitor right here. So we're going to get to that in a second. For now, we're looking at a floor stand and we're looking at a wall mount. Good job. They've figured out, hopefully, their layout in the room. They know where they're going to mount these cameras, and that is a great idea to get the parts and pieces you're going to need. Those aren't the fun purchases. You don't want to buy those. Put them on your baby registry and let your Aunt Judy buy it for you. All right? That's awesome. Way to think ahead. Then you have the nasal aspirator. It's like an electric nose sucker. You can live without this. Everybody seems to be so concerned about their babies getting sick, and I don't understand that. Maybe I just have really healthy kids, though. So for me, I'd wait, see if my kid is just a snotty kid, then I would invest in this, okay? I'm not much of a buy it just in case. I wait till the need arises. And we're going into pacifiers. So these are the Nook in UK. I have seen these a lot lately. I like them. As far as like, I just think they're stinking cute. I think they're adorable. So if your baby likes them, great. I think that's a really great price as well. Then we have the cradle cap brush. Now, your baby may or may not get it. You might be able to manage it without. We did use a cradle cap brush for a little bit on, especially our first child, not really so much with our second. Get cheap. It's not something you're going to need forever. It's a short-term item. Okay, so get a cheap one. Then we have the monitor. Let me scroll up just a little bit so you can see that. It looks like we got 2 cameras with it and we got a screen. That's a pretty good price, honestly. I will say that for 2 cameras and a screen. I love that it's a 5-inch screen. What you want a camera that can turn side to side and tilt up and down. I recommend getting 2 cameras for multiple reasons. First of all, You might want 2 cameras in the same bedroom. Cool. But if you have a second child, it's so nice to have 2 cameras, 1 camera in each bedroom. So with baby number 1, you might have 2 cameras on them. That's great. But then you can move that second camera and you can see both your kids, which is wonderful. Okay, I would love it if the screen is a split screen and you can see both cameras at the same time. That's something to look for. And the reason I recommend getting 2 cameras with the first kid is A, you have a baby shower, get it now. And B, just in case your monitor like goes out of style or out of stock or doesn't, make a camera later, or maybe it's not compatible with 2 cameras. I also took really good care of my baby monitor. My screen is still working 5 years later. We have the same original camera and we actually added a second camera later. Thank goodness it worked with our current monitor. And so if you take good care of it, it can last. And I recommend having 2 cameras for that reason. I would also like to jump in here and mention, if you would like me to analyze and break down your baby registry just like this, but a little more in-depth and a little more personalized, there's going to be a link in the description as well as in the first pinned comment. This link takes you to a page where you can learn a bit more about my baby registry services that I offer. Next up, we have a thermometer. I do think it is wise to have a thermometer in the house with babies, so definitely get one, maybe even get 2. Like this one's the infrared one. Maybe also get one that you can, do under the tongue, armpit, wherever. You want to know when your baby's sick and you want to know how sick they are, and that can really help you. Then we have some Aveeno, I think body wash for in the bath. Up to you again, what you put on baby's skin. I do recommend getting something kind of clean, natural, whatever you can find. Also, don't get a large container. Do not buy this in bulk. You want to try it on your baby and make sure they respond well to it. Don't also bounce around too much either. Stick with one thing very consistently, and if it's going well, stay with it. We want to be gentle on baby skin as much as possible. Moving on into sleep. So they have a little swaddle pouch. Looks really cool, really cozy. You can move, but you can't move too much. It is completely up to you if you're into swaddling or not. We swaddled and I would probably do it again. I think it depends on the kid. Then we have 2 of these type of swaddles where their arms can be up. The arms probably come off. There's different options with it. One thing I recommend with sleep items, go gender neutral so you can use it for all your kids, and try to go somewhat affordable. If you buy the most expensive swaddles and you want 5 of them, oof, you could be in for $100, $200. So try to be affordable, not cheap. We don't want to get things that are garbage. So watch your reviews, make sure they're 5 stars, go gender neutral, take the hand-me-downs, take what you can when it comes to sleep items because they can get pricey. Then we have a 2-pack of crib sheets. I think that's great. 2 for sure. I think 3 is a great number if your baby ends up spitting up a lot or they're sick. And don't forget to get mattress protectors as well. We'll see if they remembered that here in a second. Next, we have the Halo Sleep Sack. So this one, I believe their arms are out. I believe it's like a tank top style and maybe it like tightens on their belly. It's kind of like a wearable blanket. I don't think arms are down in this one, but it could be an option. Some of these are very multi-purpose. So you also might want to get one of them, try it out, and then if you find that it works for your baby in that phase of life, order a couple more. All right, next we have a couple nursing items. So Medela spare membrane breast pump replacement parts. This is interesting to me. I'm not assuming this is a second-time mom, but then again, this makes me kind of wonder, or maybe they got a hand-me-down pump from like a cousin or a sister, and they just needed to replace part of it. Not real sure on that. I did not use the Medela pump, so I can't fully go into that. And then they also got nipple shields, which some people like for nursing. So right now this mama has Similac on here, which is a formula. They have a breast pump on here, meaning they could be pumping and giving their baby breast milk. Not a pump, but a pump part. And then they also have nipple shields, which implies that they would be directly nursing their baby. So right now we're at all 3 methods, which there's nothing wrong with that. They just don't seem to be committed on either form on entirely. Like nursing, for example, we don't have some of the typical nursing items like a, nipple butter or a nursing pillow or nursing cover. So yeah, it looks like they're like dabbling in all the different methods. And I'd be curious to talk to this mama and figure out, what her plan is a little bit. All right, next we're moving into like car seat stroller. So we got the Mom Cozy Universal Stroller Organizer. I think that's a great item. If your stroller does not already come with one, you want to be organized. You want a place to put your phone. So absolutely. Then we got the stroller fan. I think this is a great item. It can curve and wind and fit onto different things. You could use it on a stroller. You could use it on a wagon. You could use it on a beach chair when they're 10 years old. Okay, it doesn't scream baby and it's something you can keep using forever. Next, we have the car seat toy. It kind of like winds onto there. These are always expensive in my opinion. You don't have to have it, but it is nice for in the car. You can just also throw random toys at them. It's okay too. Do what works for you here. Next, moving from that into a little more toys. I love both of these toys. They're baby toys, but they're also toys that have a purpose as they get older. Just take this like stacking ring one here. The stacking ring one. These rings can be sucked on and chewed on as a newborn. This is not a choking hazard, but an 18-month-old could also stack these. That's the kind of toys I like to see. Toys they can grow into and they can use for the longest amount of time possible. I don't like rattles, okay? Get a couple, ideally get them from your sister, your in-laws. I don't like to spend money on rattles, I guess I would say. So try to find toys that are going to grow with your child, start them as early as possible and go as long as possible, okay? So just my opinion, and I like to just stretch those dollars, okay? All right, the next thing we have here is this like cream. I think it's just a lotion. It actually looks like it might be based in a different country. So not real sure on that. I think it's just a lotion though. Then we have this car decal. It is up to you if you're comfortable with the whole baby on board. I would not put that on my car. Some people say it makes you a target. People know you've got a kid and that you got your hands full. I don't know how I feel about that, but for me, I just don't really want people to know my business any more than they already do. Not for me, but yeah. Up to you on that. Then we got some petroleum jelly or like Vaseline, basically up to you again, if that's a product you are comfortable with. Then we have some organic laundry soap bars. Not real sure about that. Do you put the bar in with the load? Like, is this like a soap that you shred and you turn it into a laundry detergent? I don't know anything about that. So interesting, but hopefully they did their research and it is a great product for babies, ideally. All right, the next item we have is tea. This is a mother's milk type tea, supposed to help with lactation and your milk supply. And that takes us into this next item with lactation cookies, meaning mom does look like she wants to breastfeed or pump milk for baby. Let's see if we can find out any more as we continue on. Okay, I have never seen a ball on a baby registry. It's like a plush soccer ball. I actually kind of love this because being able to roll the ball, throw the ball, it's a great activity to do with your baby and your toddler, and it's soft, safer in the house. Kind of love it. Might be my second favorite item on this baby registry. Then we have the Munchkin Arm & Hammer pacifier wipes. I wouldn't do it. I would just rinse them off in the sink. Don't let your baby run around with pacifiers all the time, especially in public. Get a pacifier clip it on their shirt. And honestly, for me, a lot of times my babies only use pacifiers in the car seat or at home on the floor, some, but mostly we did the car seat and we did sleep. We didn't do like just walking around the house with pacifiers. That's sort of when they were crawling, yes, when they laid on the floor, yes, but once their crawl started to get faster and they were moving around the house, we limited the pacifier. It was kind of like the passy stayed on the blanket. Once the kid got off the blanket, we didn't do passies on the floor anymore because I didn't want to chase passies all over our house. We made do with very, very few passies because we kept track of them. So I want to get the wipes is my point because I would not let my kids walk around, say, a restaurant with a pacifier in their mouth. That's just not how we did it. They stayed in the car seat. Up to you and how you do things. Next, we have a bottle drying rack. So again, we had all those bottles earlier. I would not get a drying rack. I would dry them on a towel because I don't want a drying rack taking up room in my kitchen. All right, I'm against these. I just am. Then we have a stain treater. So this is for laundry. If it works, great. If it doesn't, go back to shower. Next, we have some bassinet sheets. Looks like a 2-pack. We haven't actually seen the bassinet, but maybe they bought that on their own. I like these sheets are gender neutral, so that is awesome. Again, you might want 3. I feel like 2 is kind of limiting, but at the same time, I love being minimal. Then we have the bassinet mattress pad. Okay, I hope that's a 2-pack. So this is your mattress protector, which is great. I recommend getting it for the bassinet and for the crib. I will be honest though, I don't like bassinets. I like to start them in the crib from day one, but that's a whole nother story. Next, we have this 3-level cart, 3-tier cart. So this could be for postpartum items in the bathroom. It could be for breastfeeding stuff around the house. It could be a diaper changing station in the bedroom. It can be whatever you want it to be. I probably wouldn't get it though. Honestly, for me, postpartum, I just kept in my bathroom by the toilet. Breastfeeding, I did use a little basket that somebody actually gave me a baby shower gift in. I kept the basket and I put breastfeeding items in that so it could just travel around with me very easily. I could sit on the couch, no big deal. I would not need this cart. I wouldn't. Realistically, do you think you're going to roll it around? I know in theory, yes, but realistically, are you going to? That is my question. Then we got some soap for washing bottles. I don't think this is necessary. What is wrong with normal soap? And if normal soap is not good for babies, why are we using it? For ourselves. Okay? I always question that. Then we have a 16 pack of drawer organizers. I love this. This is an item that is so helpful. It's going to organize things and keep it all cute and where it needs to be. And baby stuff is so stinking small. So I love this. I wouldn't necessarily get one that is baby focused. I would almost get an adult set because sometimes baby items are overpriced. It's kind of like weddings. People overprice stuff. And also the organizers might be a little too small that you'll outgrow them because this is something I would want to use forever. Okay, so keep that in mind. From there, we have a little 4-pack of like stackable little drawers that could be in a bathroom. It could be, I don't know, just somewhere in your home. So not sure what their purpose is for these exactly, but I love a good organization. Then we have the Philips Avent bottle sterilizer and dryer. So, okay, why do we have that other drying rack if we have this and we're going to dry things on this? Haven't figured that out. Then we have the Mom Cozy bottle brush kit. I would just get a simple bottle brush that costs like $3 or $4. I would not get the whole kit. You don't need all the pieces. From there, we have a bath seat. This bath seat looks very interesting. Comes with a couple of toys. This is great for once they can sit up, but they slip in the tub. Like their booties will just like go out from under them. So this could be really helpful for them to play and for you to wash most of them at least very safely. So not a bad buy, not a bad price. All right. Then we have the Hatch Rest. So I love the Hatch. Okay, there's a couple different versions of it. Like there's the Hatch Rest Plus. The main thing you want to watch for is that you can change it from your phone. If you can do it from your phone, I think you should be good. You don't need to move the light around. You don't need it to be portable. If it's plugged in, that's not a big deal. What you want is the colors to change. You want to be able to set schedules and you want to be able to change it from your phone. We love it. I could not recommend it enough. Okay, it's a cool, cool tool. Then we have the Little Remedies Saline Spray Drops. What are you getting this for? You're getting it for like dry boogies? You don't even know your baby yet. You haven't met them. Why do you think you need this? This is a wait and see kind of item. You don't need to have this huge like stock of all this like sickness stuff that you may not even use. Okay, I would wait on that item. All right, they have a diaper bag on here. Sometimes people don't do diaper bags, which if you don't, cool. I would not do this color though. That's a very light color. I would do gray. I know everyone does gray, but gray does not show dirt. Black and white, both, I feel like are going to show different like things getting on them and stains. Gray is so subtle. So just my opinion. I think that one might be the one we have. It looks very, very similar to ours. It's a great diaper bag. All right, we are moving on to this like Haka baby fruit feeder. I don't do these things. They're really messy to clean up. Just let your baby try things and just let your baby eat food as they're ready. Don't rush them on things. Just wait and they'll handle it when they can handle it. Next, the Fisher-Price floor mat. I would not get this. I feel like this one drives me crazy with the piano and I don't like it. I don't like it. Put them on the floor. I believe the third item on this baby registry was that giant mat. Put them on the floor with some toys. They don't need this. They don't. It's just overwhelming. It's overstimulating. It's not necessary. All right, we got little baby cotton swabs. Up to you. Just be safe. Don't poke and prod your baby and hurt something you don't need to hurt. Then we have more bottles. That's kind of interesting. It looks like maybe a variety pack. Some are big, some are small. It's got some extra parts and pieces. I feel like we got a lot of bottles for somebody who has some breastfeeding supplies. So what are you doing and what's your plan? All right. And also the more bottles you have, the more bottles you're going to have sitting around, the more bottles you're going to get dirty, and the more bottles you're going to have on those drying racks cluttering up your kitchen. Fewer bottles, you got to keep up on them. But in the long run, I think it's better. Okay. I think it keeps you under control. Then we have another little baby foot and hand casting set. Up to you. I'm not that crafty, so that would be a challenge for me and a bit overwhelming. But for you, do it. It's beautiful momentum. Okay. Your baby's going to grow and you can't stop them from growing. So preserve what you can. Okay. Pictures, memories, do all the things. All right. Then we have two little newborn photography outfits, little sets, little props. So my question here would be, are you a photographer? Are you trying to DIY this? I would not recommend DIYing your newborn pictures. Now, if you want to try it to save some money, and then if it fails, hire a photographer, whatever, up to you. But if you hire a newborn photographer, typically they have a ton of options. If that's what they specialize in, they're going to have a ton. So when we got newborn pictures, literally the wraps that they like swaddle them up in, our photographer probably had 100. They had 10 shades of blue. You know what I mean? Like, it was insane how much they had. So I would not recommend purchasing your own. The other thing is you want these pictures typically between like when they're born and like 14 days. So you need to book them before you have your baby, or at least be talking to the photographer, tell them your due date, if you're going to get induced, or what your final date would be, and be in communication with them to get those photos scheduled Basically, you need to have them almost scheduled and have all the details laid out as much as possible so you can book them and get them done before your baby becomes too like awake. Okay, that's really important. Up to you on that. I did not buy any supplies. I did not need any supplies. Okay, they had me covered. Then we got some Montessori like wooden instruments. I would say you could wait till their first Christmas on this or their first birthday. Maybe not first birthday, but when is your baby's first Christmas? Are they 3 months old? Get them then. Are they 9 months old? Get them then. You know what I mean? Christmas and birthday can be a great time to get items that you want for them that are educational, that are something to learn. Obviously, it's going to depend, again, if their birthday happens to fall in January or November right by Christmas, that makes the difference. But overall, your 3-month-old isn't quite ready for this, okay? So I would potentially put this on a Christmas list instead. Same with this next item, this Leapfrog book. I would probably put that on their Christmas list, all right? It's a little early for that. I mean, you can read any book to your child. Like, you can read to them when they're in the womb. But this Leapfrog style book, I would probably wait on that. And finally, our last item is a stackable formula dispenser. So we got another formula item, but this doesn't go with the Similac. This is a powder formula. So we have every kind of feeding option available, which again is fine. I would love to learn more about what they plan for or are desiring to do with their baby as far as feeding them. So very interesting on the feeding items. There were some amazing items on this baby registry, as well as a few that I do recommend you skip. So I hope this helped you on working on your own baby registry. And remember, if you want some personalized help from me, click that link in the description and the first pinned comment. In the meantime, check out this next video for more.